This conference will now be recorded.
So we discussed about different type of data types. Initially, we discussed there is a fundamental data type which is an integer, string, float, boolean, and complex. When I come to collection data types, to hold multiple values, we can go with collection data type. In collection data type, we discussed about list, tuple, set. Now we are discussing about dictionary. So list is a mutable object, tuple is a immutable immutable object, and set is going to be mutable object, and dictionary is also mutable object. And there is a difference between set, tuple, and list is list and tuple can handle duplicates, but set cannot be handle the duplicates. When I come into dictionary, there should be a difference between one data type to other data type. So when I come to dictionary, there are differences. It allows only key and value representation. Did I explain you this slide or not yet? The last class.
I think, yeah, you explained, Amar.
So all these things are completed. Can I assume like working with data dictionaries? So dictionaries can allow duplicates or not are going to be allowed.
Dictionaries won't allow.
Dictionary values are all going to be allow duplicates.
Yeah.
Dictionary keys are not going to be allowed.
Yeah.
So what if I have one more key? Just for an example, in the current scenario, what you're seeing in the current slide, assume that I have one more A colon 20. So which one the system is going to be take it? A is it's a key. It's a duplicated now. So how the system has to be treated? Which one to be take?
First one it will take, second one it will ignore.
First one means A 10 it is going to be displayed?
Yeah.
No, it is a old data, so got updated with new data.
Okay.
So that was the thing what we discussed, and dictionary within the dictionary I explained. Now, so for an example, for your retrieval purpose, for understanding how many keys are there or how many values we have, to understand that we can go with dictionary.keys is the function which you can use it, and you can able to retrieve what are the keys you have in the particular dictionary. Similarly, if you want to retrieve only the values, I don't want the key names, just use dot values. System is going to return a list with contain the values. You can see the first one is keys only. For an example, in my location, I have materials like books, pens, and chairs. And for each material, I have some X amount of quantity. So I have 10 books, 20 pens, and 30 chairs. And I stored into material. So when I punch books, system return 10. But my intention is how many keys I have. To know that, I'm going to use a dictionary dot keys. System is going to return how many keys I have in my dictionary. If I use dot values, system is going to return how many values I have. So by going to this list, can't I able to get the sum? Can I get it or not? The total quantity, 10 plus 20 plus 10. From the list, can I able to get the sum? Required more practice. Now, let's come to functions. Methods in a dictionary. So when you come into methods, there are different methods we already know. The same methods are applicable for dictionaries as well. So you have some dictionary with a name, branch, and rank. So Amar is the name, branch is MBA, and rank is 1. So when you print, a system is going to return the dictionary. When you print ID, system is going to return the address of the particular object. And when you use dictionary square bracket, the key name, system is going to return the value of the corresponding key name. Any questions? Instead of using a square bracket, I also have an option to use get. So x.get in normal bracket, not a square bracket, give the key value, system automatically return the value. So if you want to remove a particular key with a value, so you have an option to remove by using a pop function. Pop on the key which you want to be removed. So I want to remove the branch. So system removed the branch and displayed it. Clear? Any questions? If I use pop item, randomly system is going to be remove one item. It can be anything. It can be a name or it can be rank. So pop item. So x.clear is nothing but you're clearing all the keys, all the values together, and it is going to be created a null dictionary. That means no values, no keys. So you can see null. And when you see the type, it is going to behave like a text dictionary only. The length is going to be 0 and address is going to be the same. Any questions on methods? So just to give a recap of 4 different data types: list, tuple, set, and dictionaries. List is represented with square bracket. Tuple is represented with normal brackets. Set represented square flower bracket, and dictionary is going to be represented by flower bracket with key and value, both together. List, set, and dictionary are mutable, and tuple is not immutable. Elements can be mutable. The elements or content what you have in a list can be mutable or immutable. Both can be maintained. When I come into tuple, elements can be mutable or immutable. But when I come into set, elements should be mutable or immutable only. If it's immutable, system will not branch. Take it. And when I come to dictionary, elements can be both mutable or immutable. When I come into list, duplicates are allowed. For tuple also duplicates are allowed. For set, duplicates are not allowed. If I have any repeated number, system will going to be drop it. Dictionary, keys should not have duplicates, but values can be duplicated. When I come into list, insertion order is preserved. That means the way how you inserted the data in the same fashion, the outcome is going to be displayed. First in, first out. But tuple, insertion order is preserved, but set, there is no insertion order. So when you're printing the data, the outcome can be in any form. So randomly the numbers will be generated. I mean displayed, not generated, displayed. So if I have the list called set called 1 2 3 4 5, when I'm giving a print of x, the 1 2 3 4 5 can be displayed in any form. It's not in sequence. So if you display 100 times also, 100 times the random formations will be there. So for dictionaries also, the insertion order is not preserved. There is no index for dictionary. Or you can use a function called list for list, tuple for tuple, set called set, and dit called for dictionary. These are the different functions which you can use it to create our data types. Any questions on this? Okay. So do you remember we discussed about typecasting? Conversion from one type to other type, integer to float, float to integer, or boolean to integer, integer to boolean, typecasting, conversions of data types. Did you remember?
Yeah, Amar.
Same thing, we use a term called comprehensions. So when you come to comprehensions, to convert from one form to other form, we can use it. Right now, so list of conference, creating list from other iterable items. So I have different type of iterable items. I want to create a list from that. So how to create? In the sense, the best option for an example purpose, I can use a range. Range generally to generate a number of sequences, maybe increment of 1 or increment of 2 or increment of some number. If you want to take it some group of numbers, range is the one of the option you can use it. So range of 10. So system create a numbers from 0 to 9. 0 is the starting number and 10 is nothing but n minus 1. So 9 is going to be the last number. So 0 to 9 the numbers will be created. But when I display print x, system will not be showcase anything. So to avoid that, I go with for loop. So when I come to for loop, y equal to list I want to create, so square bracket p for p in x. So this p is going to be an object which I'm going to be created from the for p in x. So p is going to be this p is going to be pick up the value from the x and copy to your p for generation of the list. So when you say print y comma type of y, system is created your list. Any questions on this? So the 2 lines or 3 lines of for loop I just created in a single line for optimization purpose. General what we do is we do for p in p in x and print p. That is the thing what we do, right? Are getting my point? So this is a traditional method what we followed. I am not denying that one we should not supposed to do, but still we are in a 4th generation language, Python. So we're trying to do optimization of the code. So the same for I'm writing for p in x. How this p has to perform, whether p has to perform like p or it has to do some kind of calculation. So I want to display like p square. So just mention p into p. So when the data is storing into a list, so and it has to behave like a list. So I just use square bracket. So the system is going to pick up the x value from the x and store it into p, the first value, and this p has some value right now. It will perform p into p and store it as a list and save it into a variable called y. This is the way that line works. Are you getting my point?
Yes, Amma.
So right now the numbers range from 0 to 9 and I'm not doing any performance. Keep the p as p only without any kind of manipulations or transformations. So system generated numbers from 0 to 9 and it is a square bracket, so system is created as a list. And instead of maintaining 2 lines, I want to make it in single line again. So one is for loop, one is to create range. I don't want to create 2 lines. I want to create in single line, means the same p for p in range of 10. So instead of assigning a range to x variable and assigning x to for loop, I just mention the range in place of x. So in a single line, my requirement has been fulfilled. So the data has been assigned to y. When you say print y, system is given the same result. And you may have requirement something that I want to pick up even values from a range. So you can give an increment of 2. So I want even number from 0 to 10. But if I use a range of 10, what system will do is system is going to display 0, 2, 4, 8. But it will not display 10 because it's n minus 1. So to avoid that, what I did is I did taken up to 11. Up to 11 means nothing but 10 also is included, n minus 1. And I want increment of 2 so that the even numbers will be there. So my starting number is 0, my ending number is going to be 11 and increment of 2. So 0 plus 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 10. Just adding 2 numbers to that. So these numbers will be there. And I'm storing back to P. So you can see only even numbers are there. Any questions? Kiri, are you getting or not?
Yes, some.
Amar, do you require to give the range function like this? Is there any other alternative means? We can maintain some conditions, mod condition you can use. So you can see here an example, P for P in a range of 0 to 11. Comma 2, instead of giving comma 2, which is the very simplest one, I want to use a if condition. So space. So for this, within the for loop, what is the if condition you want to maintain? So if P, the value whatever you have it here, which is stored from the range, divided by 2, double equal to 0. So if my denominator is going to be 0, then store it to P. Else it will not be stored. Simple calculation. So system is going to see this condition. If it's satisfied, then it will store into P. If this condition is not satisfied, it will not store into P. So you can see the answer here. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Amar, I have a string. How can I print it? If that is only one string and that string has a multiple letters, each letter will be treated as a different, separated by commas. So you can see here P for P in a X variable called string. So Amarnath Venkata Paritala, system treat as each letter is separated. But I don't want to split as each letter separated by space. So P for P in X dot split. The splitting is happening based on the space. So give the space here. System treat as each word by separated. So earlier it was something like 18 or 20 length. Now the length is going to be 3. And it's a square bracket. System is going to take it as a list. Any questions? This comprehensions?
No, Amar.
Now you want to do some kind of calculation. So you tell me this one. Might be I missed it here. Answer. How to, I want a square of each variable. How to write a code? This is my list. I have some numbers 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. But while displaying, it should be 10 square 100, 20 square 400, and 50 is nothing but 2500. So all these 5 numbers has to be displayed. How to get it? What is the formula? So can I take like this? Y equal to, it is a list of what I want to be create. You decided it's a list, creating a list from the list. Now P value I want for P in X and close the bracket. Now the requirement is I don't want the P, I want P into P. So just multiply. Done. So the system is going to pick up the value from the X, store it into P, and while creating a list, the system is going to multiply as a P square and store it into Y variable. So that will be something like this: 100, 400, 900, 1600, 2500, and the data type is a list because you have a square bracket. In place of square bracket, if I have normal bracket, what can be this? So you can see the solution here. P multiply P for P in X. So you're getting, the data is getting from X variable. So system is going to pick up 10 first and it store into P. And while creating a list, P into P, nothing but 10 into 10, 100 is going to be stored to Y. Again, for loop will be repeat again and pick up P value will be 20. 20 will go back to P square. So 400. 400 will be assigned to your list. So this exercise will be repeat till completion of your lambos in a for loop. Any questions? And if you remember in the starting of the classes, when you come to fundamental data types, I should tell you upper, lower, capitalize, and duplicates removal, everything. So the same functions apply. You can apply here also. Create a list in which each city should starts with uppercase. So first letter should be uppercase. Right now I have cities, some names: Pune, Mumbai, Hyderabad, and Chennai. But this is in lowercase. But when I'm displaying, I want capitalize or uppercase. So how to do that? Means this is a comma separated and it's a list. Some list is there. It's in X. So for P in X, so system is going to pick up each word and store it into P. Now when I'm displaying, the first letter in the word should be capitalized. So P dot capitalize. The function I'm going to use it, and I'm storing to Y. So you can see the first letter is capitalized. If you use dot upper, system will take up all letters will be in uppercase. If you use dot lower, system is going to take it lower. Clear? Any questions? Amar, I can do only capitalize means? No. You do whatever you want, system will allow. For example, Python is simple. Simple example. Nested list. When you say Python is simple, it is not meaning that I can finish the entire exercise as per my requirement. My requirement is create a nested list from a list. So what I'm doing is I want to display the word whatever you have as it is, and I want to convert it to uppercase, and I also want to see the length of the word. 3 activities I want to see. So, but one thing is Python is simple is not a single word; it is a sentence and separated by space. So split function I need to use for P in X dot split, and space is the splitting criteria. So in bracket double quotation. If I have instead of space, if I have a comma, I can give comma. Now from this P, what are the things I need to do means I need to have P as a P only, and the second one is P has to be uppercase, and third one is I want to find out the word length of the word. So you can see Python 6 and Python. Any questions? Okay, great. Amar, is it only from the numbers and strings means? No. From a collection data type also you can create a list. I have a tuple. Tuple is normal brackets. P for P in EMP. So from the EMP, each word will be, each one is going to be collect and store it into P. And I want to be converted as a list. So square bracket and assign to some variable. So system automatically convert into a list. Similarly, you can create a set. You have a set and you want to convert as a list. So square bracket you have it. Same for loop you can use with a square bracket. System is going to convert as a list. Giri and Yamini are getting my point.
Yes, Amar.
Yes.
So tuple comprehensions. How to do the tuple comprehensions means the method what you followed for list. No difference. Tuple comprehensions creating a tuple from other iterable items, similar like your list. Okay, so creating a tuple from a range function. So when I'm trying to create a tuple from the range function, it will show an error, something like this. Tuple will not be created, rather it will create a generation object. So range of 10, P for P in 10, print Y, type of Y. So that is the thing what we discussed for a list. But what has happened here is it's create an object, generator object, instead of showing a numbers. How to handle this? In the sense, you don't have option for that, and you don't have any call for that. Create a list, from there you convert as a set tuple. But doing from the range directly is not possible when you come to tuple. And set comprehensions. Set is nothing but, again, it's one more data type in your collection data types, and you can able to create it, your range, which are not duplicated. Again, set means you can able to create it. So creating a set from a range function. So range 0, 1 to 10, print for p in x. You can see set is created. And creating set from a string. You can see here Amarnath Paritala, and each letter from the word, it is going to pick it up and it is going to be displayed. By splitting, it will take it as a 2. And if you observe here, I'm not giving square bracket. Since it's a set function, I am going to use a flower bracket. So you can see before p and after split, I have a flower bracket. System treat this particular object has to be created as a set, and while storing into y, it will consider as a set only. Creating a set from a list. I have a list which is in square bracket Amar, Yamini, and Giri, and when I'm going to be when I want to be converted as a set, which doesn't have any duplicates, system is, I'm going to maintain a flower bracket p for p in x. System is going to take it and take it as a Amar, Giri, and Yamini, and it's a set. No, Amar, I don't want any capitalized method. I want a uppercase. So p dot upper, you're getting capitalize or upper or lower. It's up to you. So you decide which function it has to be applied. P dot upper, P dot lower, or P dot capitalize, or P comma length of P. So what are the things you want to be display? Just decide it. That will be displayed accordingly. Creating a set from a tuple. Tuple is the second one, which we cannot able to generate any range. So can I able to create a set from a tuple means we can create it. But now the problem you can see here, I have the 10, 20, 30 is repeated multiple times. Set cannot allow duplicates. So when you see p for a p in x and print type of y and length of y, you can see the 10, 20, 30 got removed. One set of 10, 20, 30 got removed. Now the length is only 6. It's not showing all the numbers. And the numbers which is displayed are not in a sequential order. It's a the display can be in random because it's not preserved. The order is not preserved. Can I create a set from a set means? Yes, you can create a set from set. So 10, 20, 30, 40. And I'm while storing p for p in x and I'm storing to y. When you see print y, you can see again the length is 4 and the order is not preserved. So the numbers can be displayed randomly. Any questions? Great. So dictionary also we can create a comprehensive type. That means I can do the transformations of 2 different lists. One list I can use it for key, another list I can use it for values. So dictionary comprehension is nothing but create a dictionary from other iterable items. So creating a dictionary from a range function. So range 1, 11. I have some numbers from 1 to 10 and I'm storing into X. Now when you see, I want dictionary is nothing but I need to have a key and a value both. So p colon p square. So when I enter 10, system is going to display value as 10 square, 10 into 2. And when I enter 20, the system is going to display 20 into 2, 40 as a value. So my x values are going to be my keys and multiply with 2 is going to be my values. So that is my dictionary. So for p in x, so x have the range from 1 to 10. So each value will be squared it and the p and p square both will be stored into y. So you can see here 1:2, 2:4, 3:6, 4:8, and so on. Any questions? Can I create a dictionary from a string? In the sense, yes, I can create it. So good morning, Amarnath. One sentence I have. Now I want to create a dictionary from this. So, and you can see there is separated by space. Each word is separated by space. So I used p, length of p, where my p is going to be my actual word, length of p is going to be my value. So for p in x dot split. So when I use that functions, system identify for between each word to word there is a space separator, and good is going to be separate word, morning is going to be separate, and Amarnath is separate. So p is going to be good, and length of p is going to be value, that is going to be 4. You can see here morning is going to be my key, and 7 is going to be my length. So value is going to be 7. Any questions on this, or is it clear from anyone?
No, Amar.
Similarly, a dictionary from a list. 1 second. So a dictionary from a list. From a list, can I create a dictionary? Means yes, I can create it. Right now, as I told you in the range function, in the same fashion, p colon p square I used. Nothing but multiplication of key. So I got my dictionary. So my p is going to behave like a key. P into 2 is going to be behave like a value. I have few things here. I have 3 different strings in a list. Amar, Amin, and Giri. Now I want to create a dictionary. Can I create a dictionary? Means yes, I can create it. So it's not only the multiplication too. What are the functions are available? You can apply on any function. So p colon p into 2. So p into 2 for a string is nothing but repetitive of 2 times. So when I entered Amar, system is written as Amar Amar. When I entered Amini, system is written as Amini Amini. When I entered Giri, Giri Giri. Or you can take one more length of p, or the functions whatever you can apply on string, you can apply anything. So can I apply? Can I create a dictionary from a tuple? Means yes. So p into p square. I'm using p square. Why don't you use log? Why don't you use inverse? Why don't you use a mod? So any kind of thing you can create it. Any questions? And instead of earlier I used p into 2, so repetitive was happened. Now I used length. Both are same. You're getting the same dictionaries only. One is with repetitive, the other one is the length you'll get. Any questions on this?
No, Amar.
Now there is an assignment for you. I want to enter 5 subjects, the subject names, and parallelly in another list, I want to be assigned a numbers, corresponding values. Finally, it has to be here like a dictionary. Can I able to? Here, if you observe here, I just given a clue. I given a clue for you to create a list, separate 2 different lists. Both are 2 different lists, okay? So accepting a list of strings from a user keyboard. So please enter 5 different subjects. So for entering 5 different subjects, it is a user input. It's not by you. So in place of X, I given an input space by some split dot split. That means 5 different inputs I want to separate by space. So I just entered 5 different. I just entered directly. So max, comma, space, and so on. So I just entered it. Now the same thing, the same user input. I have an alternative method that is called, I can create one empty list y equal to 2 square brackets. So empty list will be created. Now I'm just displaying saying that enter name of 5 subjects. So it's just a display message which are given, and I'm going to use a for loop. So for p in range of 5, so the range is going to be 0 to 4. So 5 times the for loop will be run. So the system is going to display 5 times enter the name of the subject plus the string what you're going to give. So y dot append the subject name. So when you enter this one, when you enter all these numbers, system is going to be assigned to your y and assigned as a list. So like this, I have one list now, and similarly you can create another list for the marks. So first marks goes assigned to maths, second marks goes to physics, third marks goes to chemistry, and fourth marks is go to English, and fifth marks is going to Hindi. Now when I want, this is a different list and this is a different list. I want to assign two different lists or make it as a dictionary. Can I do that? Are you getting my point?
Yeah, Mar.
So you can use this function for list function to create 5 different subjects, or you can follow the second one for loop, which is again I'm okay with this. Follow any one of this and create a list for with 5 subjects, and create another list for only for the integer numbers where you can able to store the marks. So you have 5 different marks and 5 different subjects. The first mark has to be assigned to first subject, second mark has to be assigned to second subject, third mark has to be assigned to third subject, and so on. So my subject has to behave like a key. The score marks has to behave like a value, and give an assignment for that. It's a basic one. Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
So do not see this Excel sheets. Everything you have it. The assignments is there.
Okay.
It's already created. So do not see this one. Okay. So once you finish that one by tomorrow, formally we can close data types and we'll enter into the functions what we are looking from long back. Amma, do I need to know data types and do I need to know collection data types? The reason is I'm working with Excel sheets or SQL database. Then what is the reason I need to learn all these things? I am working with Excel sheet, right? Or I'm working with a connection of data SQL database. I'm connecting to database and I'm doing an exercise. Then why should I know list? Why should I know dictionary? Is it going to be helpful? Are you getting my point?
Yeah, without list or dictionary, we cannot do anything.
It's not like that. So without those things only, I'm going to be show you. With that and without that, both I'll show.
Yeah.
We will get the same answer. But what is the reason? Just keep that question in mind. Once we finish one Excel sheet, then try to understand why we are doing all this.
Okay.
And this assignment for till tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll explain you how to enter 5 different subjects and how to enter 5 different marks and map together.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.